Hey guys, it's Lacey Williams here, First Team Real Estate. I'm talking to you today about a topic that I think pertains heavily to the real estate industry, and that's solar. You've got people that are stopping you at Costco, they're stopping you at Home Depot, they're knocking on your door, and they're all wanting to sell you solar. And I think the question is solar really right for you? And don't get me wrong, I mean, solar can be a huge benefit depending on your plans for the next 3 to 5 years. If you are an active duty service member and there's a possibility that you'll be receiving orders within the next 3 to 5 years, solar might not be a good option for you. You know, the benefits for it, a lot of those benefits are more of a long-term benefit. As far as the value that goes with that, I spoke with an appraiser and I had a listing that had a $28,000 solar system on it. And I asked him, you know, when he was doing the appraisal, I said, you know, it's $28,000 for this system. How much value are you going to be able to add to my listing for it having solar? And he said he'd be lucky to give it $5,000. So the huge variance in what is being spent on those systems versus what at this point an appraiser can give in value to that listing for the solar system being in place. Another key benefit is it is the contract that you sign is something that the buyer has to take over or assume. So whether you are purchasing your solar on a payment plan or you're leasing the solar or you're financing it through what's called the Hero program, which a lot of people are out there using right now, either way, that contract has to be taken over or assumed by the person that buys your home. So what we're finding a lot of times is the buyer maybe doesn't qualify for the solar company's guidelines to take over that lease. In my particular case, I had a buyer who we found the perfect home for. The home had everything that they wanted. We negotiated the pricing, we opened the escrow. We were 6 days into the escrow. The buyer started reviewing the terms of the solar contract that the seller had signed up for 2 years prior, and there were 18 years left on the contract. The buyer did not feel that the terms were very beneficial. There was interest that was being charged. The rate that he was paying was not very beneficial to him as far as he thought. We attempted to renegotiate those terms with the solar company, and there was a little bit of flexibility there, but we couldn't get it to a point where the buyer found it to be beneficial for him. So he chose to walk away from this perfect home that had everything that he wanted, and he canceled that escrow. So that solar contract in that particular case cost that seller the sale of their home to that potential buyer. So these are just some of the issues that you can run into when you have solar on the property. So when you're being stopped and people are convincing you about solar, my advice to you is just take into consideration your short-term goals. Take into consideration the next 3 to 5 years. Is there any possibility that you're going to be upsizing or downsizing, relocating to a different neighborhood, getting a job transfer? If any of those things are a possibility for you, then I would say to give solar very serious consideration. And if you do opt to go with solar, make sure you read the contract. There's interest that's being charged in there. Make sure you're asking the sales representatives, what happens when I go to sell my house? What does the next buyer have to do? What are the guidelines for the next buyer to qualify to take this over? What if they don't want it? Can I cancel the contract? So all of these types of questions are things that need to be asked before you sign on the dotted line with them. If you've got any plans to look at solar and are planning on doing anything with your home as far as selling in the next 3 to 5 years, please feel free to give me a call. I would be happy to chat with you about it. You can reach me at 951-634-4433 or shoot me an email at myagentlacy, Lacy, @gmail.com, and I would be happy to talk with you further about it. Again, it's Lacey Williams with First Team Real Estate. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.